So how's it going, Casey?
It is going. Another fine day in Happyville.
I bet. I wonder who Zoom. I wonder who Zoom user is. Hey, Zoom user, do you got any questions?
Hi. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep,
sir.
we can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Tony. I don't know why I show up as Zoom user. I bought the machine, so I was just looking at the instruction sheet and there's a link in Zoom and happened to be today, so I figure I'd jump on it just to figure out what I can learn.
Yeah, definitely. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. You got the floor.
I don't have anything yet. I haven't got my kit, and I'm still reading through the instruction. So I'm probably going to go to the hardware store and buy the lumber and build the frame today. And I think the kit might come next week or so. Then I might have more question there, but I figure if I just join the call and see what people are talking about, if any tips, and I should know about early, and that'll be good.
Oh, which one did you buy?
I bought a Maslow one. Yeah.
Did you get the, what did they call it? The basic kit, the M2 kit, which kit is, they're all Maslow designs, right?
Let me check. I bought it off Amazon. I'm in Canada, by the way.
Okay.
So that's what I can find. Let me see. Your orders. Yeah, it says basic bundle, 4x8 foot, high performance DIY with Z axis. That's why it says on the kit.
Okay. So I'm posting something up here. So if you go YouTube channel, if you go to YouTube and you look up Two Tankards Creations, there's some really good videos in there on calibration, getting your offset, your widths, the whole 9 yards.
Sorry, can you repeat that again? I don't know if you put it in the chat. I only see YouTube. Oh, Two Tanker. Okay, Two Tanker Creation.
Yeah, go look that up in YouTube, and you'll find.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there's
Thank you for the tip.
Yep, there's videos on there on setting your offsets and your distances on your motors, specifically how to measure them physically, so you get the right numbers.
Right. Okay, thank you. Look like that's going to be a while before I get to that part. Oh,
Yep.
by the way, is there a software I can download? I try and look for that. I haven't seen that in the instruction yet. Is there some link, some software I can download?
Yeah, Mike, you want to answer that? I think for the basic unit, it's the same as the M2, right? It's still Makerverse.
Yeah, it's still Makerverse. You can download it, but you won't be able to use it or try to play with it until you actually connect to a machine.
Makerverse?
Yes, Makerverse. If you go to makermade.com, okay, let me go ahead and put it in here. Let me put the link on the chat real quick.
Yeah, this is where I get the instruction, makermade.com. So I was looking through that, but I just haven't find where I download software and stuff like that so far. So I might just spend a little bit more time to figure that out.
Yeah, I think it's in the resources section in MakerMade for the CNCs.
Copy.
The M2 resource or Maslow resource?
It'll be
3DP resource.
It'll be the M2 resources. It's the same software for all CNC machines, whether it's the basic, the M2, or the new 2021 M2. It's all the same software.
I just put the link in the chat. There.
MakerMade M2 resource. Yeah, that's where I am right now.
and you scroll down.
Oh, okay. Download the firmware and download for Mac. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't have anything else, so maybe I'll join the call next week or the week after. I might have questions by then.
Yeah, we will be here.
All right, thank you guys.
Of course.
Thanks.
All right, so I guess we end the call.
No, yeah, you can end the call or you can stay on and wait. And if you have time, you can stay on here and chit chat with. I'm sure other people will come in.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll stay on while I read the rest of the instruction, and if anybody jump in, I'll listen in.
Yeah, and
I'll mute myself. Thank you, guys.
of course. All right, Casey, any new projects you're working on?
Just the upgrade. I posted a picture about that yesterday.
I saw that. So how exactly is that going to work?
So you have that sled that I took pictures of and posted yesterday. It'll have two pipes that run through those bearing blocks.
Okay.
And then you'll have a pipe along the top of your frame and the bottom of your frame. So it just rides on everything up and down. So it'll be able to move in any direction. But the chains still control that. What that does is it takes out any and all axial movement in the sled.
Which the sled does right now.
Yeah. So it takes off all the friction from the sled rubbing on the cut surface, and it also eliminates any axial movement you have. So where we talk about, oh, the bit has to be perfectly centered, no, doesn't matter anymore. All that's all gone.
Nice. Have
Yep.
you tried it? Have you tried it yet or not yet?
No, that's what I was saying on that thing. I need to go get the pipes. I'm using DOM tubing, so it's seamless DOM 10-foot strings. I'll bolt those up. I got the brackets that I can adjust the height of the tubing itself. But once I get the tubing, then it's just drilling holes and bolting everything to my board, to my frame, and mounting everything and seeing how it works.
How it works, yeah.
That's literally what it is. I'm down to the wire now. Got all the designs finalized, the bearing blocks, the pillow blocks, the clamping blocks, the sled, everything. And I put the new 2021 M2 on the sled. The new sled design, you see, it's a lot different than the old sled design. I put that on there, and everything works so far. But yeah, that's where we're at.
What are the what as a user, what do you see the difference between the 21 and the 2020 M2?
Well, I haven't really used the 2021 a whole heck of a lot yet, but I can see that the bolts themselves, there's a lot less connection points. So that makes it a little bit more reliable. You know, I put that all in one of those unpacking videos in my review videos, but to be honest with you, the it's not much different than the 2020 version, right? And the big difference is the sled design. I've had people come back and they're still working on it. The dust collection is a little bit better than it was in the very first one, but it's still not enough. And the frame itself, there's less bolting everything together that like there used to be in the old version when you purchased it.
Mhm.
But the only benefit to that I would see from an end user perspective is maybe you have less flex. But I mean, mine didn't have any flex to begin with. It's that that extruded aluminum is pretty tough. But maybe this new one here, it might be a benefit when I start carving with it, right?
Yeah.
because one of the things I want to do is turn up the speed on it. I want to be able to carve at a faster rate. That's kind of the whole point. I don't know. So the new version versus the old version, I'm not going to lie to you. There isn't a ton of benefit in there from my perspective.
What do you think about the whole actual bricks, the way they changed it,
The way the bricks hang?
the way the bricks hang?
Yeah, the bricks are okay, but one of the issues I found is you can actually put so your sled hangs like this, and you have your frame that comes out like this off the sled. The bricks hang in those straps. Well, it actually hangs at an angle. What happens is the bricks can sag, and they can get caught in cut grooves that you put in your board. The bricks hang out past the sled, and the end can actually go down and touch the board if you don't watch what you're doing.
Yes, which is a reason why we recommend for everyone to be there while they're doing this.
Yeah, with the old system, I guess it was, when you clamped them down up there, it flattened the bricks out, so it ensured the bricks stayed up off the surface.
And this ones, they hang and they can go. Yeah, I know exactly.
They can wobble. They can move, right? Even once you strap them down, you pull those Velcro straps tight. I mean, that's not that it's not good or anything, but it's just something that a user now has to keep an eye on, right?
Hey, Lauren. Hey, Jenkins.
How you doing, brother? Did you already tell Casey about my fun experience?
No, I'm gonna let you tell him that one. Let him tell you that one.
Casey, brother, I worked on that thing probably 7 hours or so, and then he got on and spent a good hour with me. And yeah, it's my power block was bad.
Yeah,
all that work for a bad power block.
You're not supposed to plug into European plugs, man. That's the wrong voltage.
I mean, I know I look, European over here and probably sound European, as I'm also in the deep south, but no.
I was just figuring it's Army, because us Marines are known for being super intelligent.
Yeah. It was real embarrassing as we went through every little thing and nothing was working. And I was like, he showed me some new things that I improved on the machine, but just couldn't get right. And then he finally was like, hey, check the block. There's a little light on it. And I guess I never noticed that little light. And sure enough, because I even checked the power probably 4 or 5 times leading up to it, but I didn't even think about the block being the bad part.
Hey, don't worry. We have 5 engineers. I guarantee at least once a month, we forgot to plug in happens all the time.
Yeah, that's why I tell him it happens to the best of us.
So what was it that it's given a lower voltage coming out of the block?
Yeah, so basically it's almost no power. So basically the computer was powering everything, but as you all know, the computer powers the controller, but it doesn't power the motors. So yeah, it was a moment of like really embarrassment as I was like, I literally could have, like, common sense said, I'm not getting power to my motors, right? It's like when you have an engine and you're like, I got fuel but no spark.
Yeah. What happens when you get power bricks out of Shenzhen, man?
But,
well, that's a good learning curve. It's a good learning curve. Thing is I've never seen, I don't know, 12 volt converters go bad like that. I've heard of that a few times on the Facebook page. And I mean, I've got items in my shop here that have, it's got a converter in it from, 110 to 12 volt to a lot of different things in my shop. And those blocks have never gone out, but I've heard of a few of them going out.
Well, I thought it may have been the cord, but it definitely had the cord, and my cord and everything. Like, I'm real careful with the cords, and it's when I'm like, I never even step on that cord of the block because I got it, zapped into the machine. It's an extension cord running the machine, so the only thing it had on it was a little bit of dust. So there's no reason like it should have. I don't know. Just have no idea. Just went bad, I guess. But I mean, that happens in life. I mean, mechanical failures happen all the time. So I should have caught it. I was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh shit, the camera's on. Sorry, I'm sitting here shirtless.
Might have overheated.
Camera off. I want to see my. I'm actually inside today, so I'm in my office. You know why you don't have bad power supplies, Casey? Because you got all this fancy stuff, like your fancy air ducting or your vacuuming over there. Like, I'm jealous.
I know.
Yeah. I don't like dust in the shop. I don't like breathing it, and I don't like eating it or drinking it. Try to keep
As y'all can see from my office, I'm super organized and a neat freak. You know what I mean? My desk. I once saw my desk at one point, I think.
Well, I'm not completely organized. I got a ton of dive equipment I'm trying to get sorted and ready for July.
Fun.
Nice.
Any new project? Has anybody played with the new 2021? No. Is it what? Oh, no.
Drew, you're a little late to the show. They just got done talking about it.
Oh, damn. Sorry, guys. I missed last week. It's been crazy.
Have they started? Did the first batch of lasers show up and they start shipping those yet, Mike?
Not yet. They should start shipping in July, if I'm not mistaken, like in the beginning of July.
Waiting to hear some feedback from end users on that.
It's working really well. I've been using it for a couple months now. It's been working pretty good. So now the issue at first was just trying to get some of the firmware and trying to get you have to do a pull up off the there's a 12 volt on, so you have to put a resistor in there and do a pull up off the 12 volts. So first we're like, what the hell? I cannot get the laser bio. Chris and I like spent like a week. So this, you feel, Lauren, don't feel bad. Chris and I spent literally I think 2 weeks trying to figure out why the hell we could not get 12 volts off the laser IO, and yet we just needed to put a damn resistor, a 1K resistor between the 12 volt on the IO, or on the IO, the laser port and the 12 volt IO port.
How about the spindle? Does anybody got an update on the spindle? I've seen a couple people asking about those on Facebook as well.
I keep meaning to buy one. I just haven't bought one yet. I had to buy a bunch of SLA 3D printers, and so I haven't had the money for that.
Yeah, but I think when they had that big reveal for the 2021 CNC design, I think Patrick said that he actually showed a spindle design that they're working on.
Yeah, we're working on one right now. I don't know exactly when, but that one looks towards the end of the year.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
give or take. Don't quote me on that, but if I'm not mistaken, around that area, around that time frame.
Whatever you think it is, add 12 months.
I don't know. Chris is pretty he gets hell bent on certain things when he gets onto it. Hey, Mike, I'm gonna be down your way. Actually, I'll be at Corpus probably tomorrow or Saturday. You want me to bring you one of those cards?
Where are you going to?
It's my daughter's birthday. We're going somewhere in Port A, I think.
And where at?
I don't know. I stay out of that. I let my wife and
Yeah, if you're close by, most definitely.
I don't drive. I hate driving long distances, so that's why my daughter just turned 16, so I'm super excited. The more chauffeurs I have, the better.
Yeah, most definitely.
I want to get up to Houston one of these days, Casey, and see your place.
No problem.
That looks it looks awesome.
Well, I was down there. I didn't even think about it, Mike. I was down there in Galveston for Memorial Weekend for a week. We took the coach down there and stayed at the KOA down there on the Scenic Highway or whatever the hell that road is right by the beach. But we took the coach down there. We were maybe 15 minutes from Galveston for about a week. I didn't even think about giving you a holler. Should have.
I'm actually more south than that. I'm in the valley.
Oh, you're north then. You're farther.
No, he's way south. He's like in Mexico, like literally like on the border of Mexico at the very tip.
The tip of Mexico. South Padre Island.
You
area.
can take a kayak over to Cancun.
Oh, you're not in Galveston. You're in Corpus Christi,
South.
south of Corpus Christi.
Even south of you're because it's you're in
Yeah.
Harlingen, right? Or McAllen.
Yeah, I'm in the Harlingen, McAllen area. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got 6 hours on you.
Oh, yeah, at least.
I used to have to drive that for 2 years. I drove that 3 times a week, and I'd usually drive there in the morning from Austin, and then come back like 2 a.m. Hated that.
Man, that's a hell of a run.
Yeah, Texas is big, guys. You know that.
Well, for some reason, I thought you lived in Galveston. I thought you were down in the Clear Lake area, but shit, you're way down there.
Yeah, I'm way down here. I'm over here, literally about 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Mexico.
Holy shit. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a run. That's a hell of a run.
Anything exciting last week or anything interesting?
There was 3 of us.
Kind of fun. I enjoy this every week.
Well, I expect this to start slowing down, actually, folks. I mean, keep in mind, COVID's over, so people are going to start going back into work and they won't be able to call in at 11 o'clock. So I expect to see a lot less attendees over time.
Are y'all going to look at redoing the time or changing the time?
Yes.
What are y'all thinking?
I don't know. I think maybe like on the weekend.
No.
You know.
Actually, that's probably when a lot of people are working on their stuff anyways.
Yeah, and so they could be working. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people work on the weekends for the most part, or in the evenings. You know, sometimes also in the evenings. You know, maybe I'll do some kind of like a poll, you know, on Facebook and see what timing works for for most people. You know.
The Tech Trek, San Antonio Trek's coming up next week that the tech community and the chamber hosts, and we're giving away a Mazda, one of y'all's for the Tech Trek as a grand prize. So I'm gonna have whoever wins it joining in. So,
Where's this at?
Yeah, I
Where's
think
it? Come again, Drew. Say it again.
we're giving away one of the Mazda's or one of the kits for Tech Trek as a prize. So we'll y'all probably have I'm gonna have whoever wins it signing in to this to try to get so they can before they start trying to use it so they can get some input.
Awesome.
I think it'd be a good idea to, if you could do it on the weekend or even in the evenings. I see a lot of stuff on the Facebook page. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen, how do I get my work piece to move on my Maslow? It seems like at least once a week or twice a week you see that. And just to have like a quick share screen tutorial conversation with new owners.
Or new owners, yeah, because that's the main thing is a lot of new owners, and a lot of the good information is on the Facebook group, and we're actually trying to build that forum, that knowledge base, up, that way it's easier to find answers on the knowledge base versus Facebook.
I mean, it's really not that bad. The Facebook isn't that bad. It's just surprising how many people don't like go back and search within Facebook
Yes.
to
You have to search.
actually see anything.
Yeah, you have to use the search button, the search,
Yeah.
And if you put in what you want, you'll find it for the most part. It just takes a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Whole business is
No,
built
for sure.
on this. People not searching for things. It's a prototyping lab. It's like our whole thing is, it was funny as I used to do a lot of angel investing, and my wife and I are founding members of the angel investing group over here in San Antonio, and it's funny. We get so many pitches that people do that. I mean, did you Google any competitors at all or anybody do this? Like, nobody else is doing this. I'm like, okay, 2 seconds on my phone. I'm like, yeah, there's like 8 people doing this. So how are you different? I'm like, I don't care if it's competitors, but it's like, how are you differentiating yours from theirs?
Exactly.
But nobody ever searches for stuff. Like, nope, we're the only ones.
They're like, okay, sure. You find it real quick. You're like, no, sir, you're not the only one.
Hey, Casey. So you mentioned you were talking about the bricks on the new one. Because on mine, I don't think I have a picture to show. Because like I've never liked the brick method. As soon as I played with them, to me they hang. It makes the machine really, like, I don't know, kind of clunky looking. You have all this nice machinery and all of a sudden you got two bricks hanging off the bottom. That always just kind of irritated me. But when I tried to do the 2.5 pound plates, when I did the upgrade, right, the actual upgraded Z axis got in the way. And so I ended up just drilling in between the two normal. So you got the 4 screws, and between those two, I put 2 new holes, and the 2.5 pound plates fit perfectly inside of that. I even considered, I don't know if anybody knows where to get the screws for the extruded aluminum to actually attach them, like bolt them to the side. I can't stress enough that those 2.5 pound plates work perfectly, just stacking 2 to 3 with that machine.
That's what I'm actually using, really heavy steel. So I have a CNC plasma. I have one laying mirror system once, and so and I've been powder coating them for fun, just so they look nice. But what do you call it? Yeah, I'm with you. I just use the steel plates. I don't like the bricks. But
and it just doesn't hang off as much. It just makes your machine a lot more compact. It was just kind of frustrating that I had to drill new holes, but I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah.
If you get a chance, look at McMaster-Carr. Have you ever used McMaster-Carr?
MasterCarve? No.
McMaster. So just go to MasterCom, McMaster.com. It's awesome. So hang on, let me pull up sorry, I don't have a shirt on, guys, but there's nobody here. Let me pull up my magazine. It's 100 degrees in our warehouse, so like I'm usually wearing shorts and that's it. And I stay out there most days because I don't like being inside. I find my MasterCard real quick. Catalog. They're badass. Another thing they have too is it gives you all the CAD files and all the Eagle CAD files. I think it's another one. Grab it.
MasterCarve.
Yeah, I'm hoping for this new sled design.
MasterCard, if you go, they have, so I love their, it's just awesome. So I like their catalogs because they still are old school, and that way too, they send catalogs. And if you need a 10-pound brick, there's your 10-pound brick right there. It's good if you need to beat your kids or something. It's great for that. It's just nice and soft. Yeah, it's, but no, it's really cool. Go to MasterCard and they'll have about everything. It's a great source. And they're fast. Like they have shipping centers, distribution centers throughout. So if you get UPS ground, it'll come in, and next day even you at UPS ground. So there's some things that you can find them on Amazon easily, but sometimes. But the nice thing with MasterCard is that like I said, you'll have they have really technical details. They have all the white papers on the documents. They have all the 3D files. You can download of each of the pieces. So you can, it's really good, and they're cheap. They're actually dirt cheap. It's like the best place in the world to get stuff.
On the new sled design, I'm hoping to get rid of the weights and just use a counter spring.
You think?
I'm hoping. We'll see.
It'll be interesting. Springs will be interesting though, because the problem with spring is you're gonna have just think if it gets stuck, stuff like that, you're gonna have a jolt all of a sudden. Whereas with the counterweights, I guess.
Not if it's running on the ODM rails.
Yeah.
So the design I have, the only thing I'm worried about is the downward force, which is exactly what we have now. So just the bottom board would have a spring that connects to it up to the sled. So it's just constantly pulling down on those rails. It'd be a light spring tension, but it's just, then you don't have to worry about that at all.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
So you're going to have 2 bars on the sides, right? And then one going up the top. You're going to have 2 like this, and then 2. How are you exactly building that rail system around your?
So you'll have sled? So you have your frame, right? Your cut frame. You'll have a 1-inch ODM pipe going across the top, with 1-inch ODM going across the bottom, and then 2 that run vertically like this. Those 2 will slide back and forth on those 2 others that are going horizontally. And then the sled itself slides in between those 2 going vertically.
Oh, I thought you were doing 2 vertical with across the top of the machine and the bottom machine 2 additional bars, and it was just sliding like that. Because it made sense in my head. I just wasn't sure how your final design, or I mean, it can go either way. I guess the bars can go either direction. Because I even considered, I almost ran it, but I wasn't sure. Buying 2 springs and attaching them just to the bottom, or buying a single spring and attaching it on some kind of sliding system to really hold it down and smooth. Because as you get like weight, just sometimes doesn't counterweight it enough on the sled and keep the chain or keep it taut, especially in the corners.
That's a 12-foot, right? That's why people go with
Yeah.
a 12-foot top beam. The problem is if you try to use from an engineering perspective, you try to use a spring on each corner to pull down on that, those 2 springs are fighting each other and they'll just cancel each other out. If one spring is pulling 5 pounds this way and this one's pulling 5 pounds, well, they're both pulling 0 pounds because
that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's from a physics perspective, you can't have equal forces on each side of it pulling at the same time. Or the design I'm working on, I'm about to finish, I don't care about the side to side as much right now. I'm not saying that won't change, but right now I don't care about the side to side because I think the weight of the unit itself with the 12-foot top beam will pull that over. But I want to make sure that I'm going to pull down on it because I want to get rid of the damn bricks. I don't like.
Well, if you have the full gantry system, like
what was that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. You cut off for a second on me. I didn't realize. Go ahead. I accidentally cut you off.
So the sled rides on those 2 rails going up and down, and those 2 rails then have bearings that slide on the 2 horizontal.
Right.
What I'm worried about is still we're going to have gravity. We'll have to have some kind of a gravity, right? Because it's sitting vertically like this, the sled. So we still need to pull it down a bit. So I'm thinking just a light spring, get rid of those bricks. The reason why you have the bricks the way they are is if you look at the design of the Maslow, it's designed to pivot.
Right.
On that ring, right? That's why you need the centering blocks, is to make sure that bit, because if the bit isn't centered, it'll actually wobble whenever that.
No, that's why I needed them so badly, because I was, that's why I called you. You was the first person I called, because as I tried to center the bit and tighten it down, I mean, you're tighten 6, like it don't matter how like you finesse them, it wants to wiggle out. And every time that's the first thing I noticed when I rotated I forced that rotation. And that was the other thing I noticed is the weights have to be towards the bottom of the sled, because when I made the upgrade, got a new sled, what it did is the circle is here. And normally in my previous one, you saw the weights were down low. The new one, they were up wide, and it was causing it to cant. And I was like, oh, because no 2 weights are perfect. Plus you have the router turned a little bit. It was just interesting to have that. Now with the new sled system, I love the upgraded Z-axis. What I don't like is that the Z-axis, it's sitting very vulnerable with no like plate or anything to protect it if you push up on it. So whenever I pick up my machine, I constantly have to be careful. I always feel like it's just in a very vulnerable spot on the bottom of the machine. And it would almost make sense to reinforce it more in some other way than just that little L bracket.
Well, the 2021 is reinforced more. It's a solid plate with stanchions out the back. So it's, I guess you could say it's structurally the 2021 tower design on it, Z-axis. It's more substantial per se, right?
Right.
That's we were talking about those upgrades. Like I said, it's more of a reliability upgrade. It's not an operational upgrade. The 2021. I like the frame. Right. I like the frame design. You have less bolts that are going to vibrate loose on the 2021. Plus, it has the back plates that come off at an angle, so it's almost like having a stanchion between the 2, right?
Right.
The tower, and it has a nice angle, and it's thick plate. It's steel plate, stamped steel plate, so it's pretty dang rigid. It's
when I was looking at the pictures, I was curious the gauge of that steel, because I was actually worried, because as you know, extruded aluminum is It's built from an engineering perspective. It's built very, very sturdy. There's almost no
That's
flex in it whatsoever, right?
That's a box.
Right. And then they were getting the plate. I was worried. I was like, there's sometimes in a plate, you'll have more flex than you will in like an extruded aluminum, but it sounds like they used a heavy enough gauge. But that leads into another question. How heavy is your new sled for that gantry system? Have you weighed it yet?
My new sled yet? With
For the
one
new gantry system. Right.
I haven't weighed it yet, but keep in mind that the weight of it, so again, from an engineering perspective, you have the two rods coming down and two going sideways. What takes the weight of your machine? The chains.
Right.
The chains support that weight. So all I need those pillow blocks and bearing blocks to do is guide or keep the system from pivoting.
No, 100%. I guess what I'm saying from your perspective, because you were worried about gravity still got to play a role. The sled may be heavy enough that you don't need to add weight.
It may be. Maybe. That's what I'm saying. Once I assemble everything, I'm going to try to do some runs around the deck, see what it looks like, maybe add a little spring here, take one away, whatever, just to play with it to see what I need to do. I'm maybe 50% of the way through the design. I'm down to the point now to where I've, engineered and mathed enough that I can. Now it's physical. I have to physically build it and try it, because let's be honest, all the best math in the world doesn't really matter whenever you actually try to put it into practice, right?
Oh, there's a variable somewhere you missed. There's always a variable.
I guarantee you there.
Drew, what do you think? What do you think about that, Drew? Are you there, Drew? Probably on mute. Or maybe I'm on mute. I'm on mute.
Now, another question I'd have until Drew comes back. Just out of curiosity, what are y'all's current weight that y'all are running on your sled? Because with the upgrade system, I'm now sitting at, it's just under 30 pounds, but it runs really smooth at that 30 pounds. I know that's a lot more than what you need, but.
Yeah, I have mine, I think at 26 when I measured it. The last time when I weighed it, it was 26 total. With the bricks and the router and the
I don't know what mine is. It's not that much though. I know my sled isn't that heavy, but 26 pounds is pretty beefy.
Yeah.
He has 30. He has 30 on his.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because see, I'm running with the 3 plates because I got essentially was 7.5 pounds, 2 7.5 pound weights stacked. So I have essentially 15 pounds hung on the bottom of it. And it's surprising. I mean, when it cuts down, I have never had any problem with it coming down. I was worried it was going to be too heavy. I was like, I'll do a test cut. The only thing I did run into, so when I was going back to calibration, your words were ringing in my head. I was like, I'm going to go back and double measure everything, because if I'm off square, as you know, 12 foot or even 8 foot, right, is your stock. I was using a level originally, and I was like, I mean, you got to think like the level isn't going to tell you accurately enough. And sure enough, I was off by 5 millimeters on one end, so I corrected that. But the other thing that I couldn't for the life of me figure out what was giving me problems, because even after I centered the bit, I still had a little bit of an issue. One of the L brackets, being stupid, I didn't reset it to 0 before I hung up my my router, and I went to pull it back down, and I know where 0 is, so I know how to bring it down, right? Well, I forgot it wasn't a 0, it was still way high, and so I let it come down too quickly, and it had slightly bent an L bracket, and that threw it way off. So I just kind of took a rubber mallet and bent it back, solved it right away. But it's those little things, man, as you're chasing those numbers, that was an interesting piece to find.
Yeah, those numbers are everything though, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
that's, you guys have seen me post about this, garbage in, garbage out.
Oh, 100%.
That's what 100%. The more time you put into your setup, your build, making sure you're at the exact measurements. Though, you know, once you calibrate, you'll be at a very tight calibration right from the get-go. Otherwise, you're going to be chasing those numbers forever. You'll be trying to tweak this or fix this over months of time period and frustration. So I think that's really what it comes down to. But I find it interesting that that your power supply, right, went out on your board. I'm just curious, I guess, whether or not the additional weight on the motors with the amperage fluctuations required from the shield.
Well, see, I looked it up because I was worried. I looked it up and it says those motors within the parameters, just the safety parameters, they're supposed to be able to hold up to 35 pounds. So I'm well under that limit.
And that's per motor.
Right. And I, you know, so I was kind of worried that maybe I may be overdoing it. But when I looked it up, I was like, look, if I'm 6 pounds underweight, like, and I know like every motor, like you got to think like they're going to, you know, you publish safety minimums on the safe side. Yeah. So like I said, I don't know. Like it was wild. And it was the last, like, and I just should have looked. It was one of those things that I just felt silly at the end, but
yeah, I don't know. I
mean, truth be told, gotta wait. Yeah, I gotta wait for the power block to come in to confirm, but I'm 99% sure that's what it was. Because Mike helped me we reflashed the board and everything. Top to bottom.
If you have a multimeter, just plug it in and put the multimeter on the end of the plug and see what, I mean, you should have a good constant. I think that's a 24 volt block that comes out. That's a 24 volt transformer in there, Mike, or is it 12 volt?
I have no idea. I can't help you on that.
I have to read the back of the block to be honest, because that was part of my problem is I basically built a little bitty clamp, like real soft clamp system that it just slips down into on the side of my machine. Because I'm like, hey, I don't ever want to step on this, don't want to damage it, and that's where I've kept it this entire time. So as far as I know, barring my wife didn't do something crazy, which I just don't think she did, it's never gotten wet. At most, it's gotten a little dusty. And yeah, I don't have like a full dust collection system, but I keep I'm always keeping the dust out of the garage. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird one.
Thing is, like those boards, if the boards are pretty, sometimes they just have bad components on. But what do you call it? Mine have gotten super dusty to the point where honestly they should have done things, and they've gotten super moist. So they've been covered in dust while in like ridiculous humidity, and they've held up. So you'll be okay if that. So if it went bad, it was probably honestly just you had a board go bad. But mine have been through really rough situations and they've survived. So I doubt it was anything y'all did.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have streaks of bad luck with electronics. I'll have times when everything works perfect, but I had a period of one time I went through 5 laptops in a year at work. Just machine after machine just kept quitting on me, and I was like, I don't know.
You got them hammer hands, man. You got them hammer hands.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm hoping this is just the one little bad one, and I don't have like 2 more go bad. But if 2 more go bad, I might start looking at what's causing it.
You gotta start scaring them more. I threaten my electronics, and if some of them go bad, I smash them with a sledgehammer, and that keeps them in line. You gotta make sure you scare. You gotta scare some Jesus in them.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask y'all. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, Casey, or Mike. 1/2-inch bits. I don't know it was Casey. I think we were talking about on Facebook. Do y'all have a recommendation on a 1/2-inch milling bit? Because I really want to. Yeah, I was very happy when I've got my machine like fully dialed in. I mean, I'm essentially cutting a circle in about 4 minutes, 18-inch circle, which is stupid fast and smooth for me. It means I can turn out a ton of product really quickly. But at the end of the day, there's just, I mean, y'all know inconsistencies in the system. So you'll run in the plywood, so it'll catch. My bit just can't handle it. If I had a 1/2 inch, I'm pretty sure I could be able to handle it. It'd have a lot less jitter in it. I don't know if that's the proper term, but I didn't know if y'all had any recommendations.
I like White Side. That's I
Okay.
buy them off of Amazon. And it's not it's a step up from the lower brands,
Right.
but also not an Amana. So you don't
Well, see, that's what I'm running now is a Mana 1/2 inch bit or 1/4 inch bits.
That's big money.
But well, I caught them on a sale, and they do the military discount and stuff. But they do have, I mean, they have some nice bits. I'm running the Spectra Amana bits. They're really nice, but they're 1/2 inch bit.
What's the
It comes
price
in
of
at
those?
like $90. So
Look at
for a single
McMaster-Carr for bits too. So they sell end mills and they sell bits on McMaster-Carr. And if you look on there, they have really good pricing on there. Probably better than even the discounts actually.
Hey, and
They'll sell a lot, and they'll sell the key brands too.
I'm on the process of actually I'm making my own router bits. So keep me in mind. I'm actually getting some, I'm making some 1/8, some 1/2 inch, not 1/2 inch, and 1/8, 1/4 inch, and 1/2 inch.
I have that 10-ton metal lathe. If anybody wants to come pick it up and carry it home,
I got you.
I got you out of the damn warehouse.
Hey, bring it to me. I know, seriously, I'm looking for one.
I sent you that picture with your car. Like, yeah, let's just throw it on top of your car.
I know, right?
Picture with the machine like smashing your car.
Yeah, because my cousin actually has it. He has a machine. He's a machinist over here, and he's we drafted some stuff out. So I'm working on that. I'm excited about that.
look, if you got it for free, I probably shouldn't say this, but I have the trailer and the truck to haul it. It'll disappear real fast.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can lift it, but
making tooling like that can get kind of pricey.
Oh yeah, but it's it's something to do, something extra to do. I would love to do it. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I think we've done this. I've done this in the past, I should say, with a contract that I had with a customer, and I actually hired a company called Fleer to. We actually reverse engineered some custom bits that NASA had. So we put them in a 3D model, and we scanned them and reverse engineered them there, and then we ended up sending them over to Germany to have them made because the cost of materials here and the machining precision that you needed is just unfreaking real. You'd be surprised what goes into making a bit, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's why I wish we had. When I got these, I was hoping I'd get a machine because these things they were using for like oil rig parts and like specialty pieces. You could do really high quality with them because they were doing titanium with them and stuff. But it's just, and I have a bunch of the end mills for them, but I honestly have no clue how to use the damn things. And they're.
hey, Drew.
I'll take that off your hands in a heartbeat, Drew. I'm right down the road from you.
It's $5,000 a piece to have them rigged, just FYI. And that was for 22 miles.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, quick question, man. So I'm on this MasterCard because I've been scrolling through it as we was talking. Is there any issue with using a 1/2 inch bit that's meant for everything, but it doesn't say anything about wood? Is there any issue with that?
I don't think so. The only thing you may have is some bits that, what's the material it's made of? You may get some dulling, like titanium will dull if it's but I doubt it'll be probably carbide or something, isn't it?
Now, these are all carbide square end mills.
I don't think you'll have problems. The only thing you may want to do is just try speeds, different speeds, adjust different speeds on your router, see how they do.
Yeah, I was just looking at it, and I've never seen a selection like this. I thought Tools Today had a lot. This is crazy.
No, but MasterCard is awesome. And order one of their catalogs. They'll send you a free catalog if you buy something. It's just fun. So I like having the catalog too sometimes because their website's cool, but it's just fun sometimes when just having the catalog. I'll look through real quick, and it's actually organized really well. So you can have the index, but then I do like the fact that they have, like, for those pieces, they'll have the actual CAD files, which is nice.
Yeah, it's just impressive. I've never seen.
What's
Never
funny is
seen anything quite like
always,
this.
my dad had, so when I grew up, my dad had an exporting company. So I spent, he did oil rig parts, stuff like that. And So I spent a lot of my childhood in the Middle East and Asia and Europe, and so, but I always remember growing up having MasterCard catalogs everywhere, like all over the house, all over his office, because that was his main suppliers of MasterCard. And so it also brings me fond memories of my dad.
In the oil field, McMaster-Carr and Granger. I mean, those are the two biggest distributors for all tools, tooling, you name it. Those two companies.
What's funny is we had a Granger, so we had a client that is a Granger partner, and so we were doing some stuff from him, and I was working with Granger on it, and Granger listed us as a supplier for them. So we still get so many calls for water pumps and stuff. I'm like, we're not going to do that. But I keep trying to get them, but they've had me as a Granger distributor for like 2 years now. And I'm not a distributor. Quit going to it.
And do you like them?
They're cool. They're cool. But
Another quick question.
I really like the MasterCard's distribution, and it's fast.
Yeah, Granger. Yeah, it's pretty fast because I have them delivered over here too in South Texas, so it's pretty fast. But they only have certain days that they come over here. Like I think it's on a Wednesday. And if you order, if you're the only one, if you make a order, they'll do it for you. You know, but I think they have like a certain date down here.
Well, in MasterCard, they just do UPS. Where are you located, Lauren? I forget.
I'm actually out of Georgia. I'm trying to get back home to Texas eventually, but I'm out of Georgia right now.
Look and see, they may have a distribution center by you, because they have a distribution center by you. Like ours is in Dallas, so I just always order everything. When I pay for shipping, I always just get it UPS ground, and it comes here next day.
Yeah.
Because so if they have one right next to you, and I think they have like 10 distribution centers throughout the United States, you don't have to, if you need it in a hurry, you don't have to worry about like getting paying for expensive shipping. Just
I mean, the pricing ain't bad. I'm just trying to get I'm not really sure like which one's the uncoated versus the titanium nitride, titanium carbon nitride, or titanium aluminum nitride. Like which, does it matter which coat?
I honestly have no clue.
The pricing ain't bad. It's the equivalent of a white side bit.
Yeah, and they're really good. If you have issues, they will take returns on it. They're actually really good about stuff.
You can tell it's meant for like you're the actual manufacturer, people that build things, because it's not very pretty of a website. It's meant to be functional.
That's why they still have their catalog and everything too. It's meant for good old boys that are like, yeah, that internet thing's a pain in the ass. I'm getting on my catalog.
Well, again, the catalog and the website is built for procurement functionality. So right. They go in and put in 35 part numbers they need for this project because it's on a purchase requisition. They don't give a crap what the picture looks like. All they care about is the part number, and they type it in and they create a PO and send it out. So none of it is really made for, you notice you never see MSR, you never see Granger, you never see McMaster.
Right.
They don't advertise. That's because they're known in business. They don't have to advertise.
Right. Well, I like this. It's cutting.
Yeah,
I like the fact that like it's cut and dry. Like I know what I'm looking for. The numbers are there, because normally that's what I hate about most websites is like you see the bit, but there's no like reference. So you got to go hunt down the measurements you're looking for. And here it's all very much spelled out for you.
And it makes it easy. Like I said, the CAD files, if you get parts, you don't have to design in CAD, just drag and drop the CAD files in. And then the other thing too is that you can get everything from those end mills all the way to toilet paper. It's crazy the stuff they sell.
Yeah, they're massive. They got to be a massive producer. Quick question: how many flutes were y'all using? Because I have a couple of my Spectra bits I'm running are 3 flute and 2 flute. I didn't know. Is anybody running a 3 or 4 flute bit?
The higher speed you want, the more flutes you need.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it removes more material. I mean, I get that principle, but I was curious if it was worth the money kind of thing. Is it worth buying?
The higher speed you run. So think about your router. Your router is probably running 25 to 30,000 RPM, right?
Right.
2 flutes is more than sufficient because you rarely run it that high anyway. I know mine, I barely go over 15 at any time, and I run 2 flutes.
Yeah, I run anywhere from 15 to 18, depending on the feeds and speeds recommended off the website.
Honestly, if you ever get behind too, though they're super expensive, is Woodcraft. They have such a crazy router bit selection, but they're so freaking expensive. That's the only downside. But we have one literally like half mile down the street.
I just ordered some wood from there.
It's fun to go in there now because they have like $800 pieces of wood. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I just ordered some Purple Heart on there.
How much y'all paying for plywood right now out there in Texas?
76 for 3/4 inch.
About 30 something over here where I'm at. About 36 for 3/4 birch.
Let's go find some abandoned houses.
Well, Houston's in a housing boom right now, so any type of raw material, even electrical material, PVC, plumbing, piping, everything.
Price gouging. Everyone's price gouging.
Yeah.
I have tons of pallets. I've been scrapping tons of pallets for projects that are big. And I've been using pallet wood for all kinds of stuff. So we probably have 200 pallets stacked up out back, and nice ones too, weather treated pallets and all that, because of the building boom. And so the nice things, the stone pallets are really nice for that. And I just plane them. So I have the planer.
It's 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Casey, one of the things I would tell for you, Matt, we actually lucked into it because we saw the price of plywood spiking. I mean, as it does everywhere. We actually got in and found a distributor and kind of went in and shook hands. And he was like, I mean, he's dealing in like pallet trucks, right? But I explained the situation, and he's been selling me board or like essentially plywood at $30 a sheet. I get half inch MDF for like $15.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's crazy cheap. I'm watching it spike around me, and I'm just like, thank God I got this connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're three. Yeah, it's just insane. I don't know if they have any distributors over there. I don't know if I ever mentioned, Casey, I got family lives over in Katy. That's where I used to live when I lived out in Houston.
Yeah, it's not too far away.
Yeah, it's right.
One thing you can check too. It's really good. Go to Home Depot. In the back of Home Depot, they have their surplus wood.
Discard.
Yeah, and most of the time it's something simple scratch. And so yeah, it's not good for certain things, but for us, for milling, for the Mazda, it's perfect, and it's so cheap.
Yeah, I actually would find like the wainscoting board and stuff like that. It's really good for if you're needing templates. And it's so thin you can cut it in a single pass. My wife, I don't know, is going through a wave of frames and things like that, custom sports memorabilia, and it's great for those kind of things. But yeah, even sometimes Lowe's will give it to you for free.
Hey, I see Dustin Dade is on. Does Dustin have any questions? We're coming to the end of our meeting here before we drop off. See if Dustin has any questions or needs any help. Dustin, are you on there? We can't hear you.
He has mic muted.
Yep, he's muted.
Yeah, he's listening. He just posted a thing. It's all good. I'm just listening today.
Okay. All right, folks. It's 12 o'clock. Where I am anyway.
Yeah.
12 o'clock.
Yeah, Mike, if you want to shift the time, if you get a time on Saturday, I'd love to be a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll discuss it. We'll see I'll see what's going on, and I'll let them know and see if we can maybe do a poll, see the best timing for everyone, and see.
Yeah, I'd like to have my kids on it too, so that'd be really cool.
What's a good time for you all? I know you said around in the evenings on Saturday. How about you, Drew?
I'm pretty open. I've got a bunch of kids, so it just depends. Usually early mornings or evenings, but during the week it's pretty easy. But honestly, I'm pretty flexible because I make my kids start doing some of the stuff with me. So.
All right. Well, if no one else has any other questions.
No, I appreciate everybody. I'll be in touch to let y'all know how this power block fixes the issue. And
All
Get
right.
back in the game.
Sounds good. You'll have a good one.
All right, folks, take it easy.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Right.